Welcome to this session. My name is Barbara Gochalia, and today we are going to look at managing quality. This is our chapter outline. We shall be looking at total quality management. We shall be looking at, and under total quality management, we shall be looking at continuous improvement. We shall be looking at Six Sigma, employee empowerment, benchmarking, just in time, Taguchi concepts, and then knowledge of the total quality management tools. We shall look at the tools of total quality management, and these are check sheets, scatter diagrams, cause and effect diagram, Pareto charts, flow charts, histograms, statistical process controls. Then we shall look at the role of inspection, which comprises issues like when and where to inspect, source inspection, service industry inspection, and inspection of attributes versus variables. Then we shall look at total quality management in services. We shall look at different views, user-based, better performance, more features. We shall look at manufacturing-based conformance to standards. We shall look at product-based specific and measurable attributes of the product. Then we shall look at the implications of quality. We shall look at which are basically company reputation, product liability, and then global implications, right? So let's look at quality. When we talk about quality, quality can be measured in a number of dimensions, right? We look at quality in terms of performance, right? For example, how well an organization is performing, that is quality. Quality can be in terms of how well the business or an organization is performing. Quality can also be viewed in the aspect of features, right? For example, if it's a phone, you're looking at the features of this phone. What can it do? What are its functionalities, right? So the features of a product can also show quality. Then also quality can be in terms of reliability. Yeah, reliability. For example, when I buy this, maybe a phone or a laptop, how reliable is it? How, for example, if I'm looking at it, the phone battery, right, or a laptop battery, how reliable is it? Can it, for example, sustain me for a time that maybe I'll not be having current, right? Then quality can also be looked at in terms of conformance. By conformance, we look at, for example, being able to abide to the standards. For example, if it's a product, and we are here in Uganda, it would need to conform maybe to the product, to the standards of UNBS, Uganda National Bureau of Standards. Are we together? Then quality can also be looked at in the perspective of durability. In terms of durability, how durable is the product, right? Also determines is the dimension of quality. Quality can also be looked at in terms of serviceability. Serviceability, for example, if it's a machine and you've purchased it and it happens to get maybe a technical fault or to break down, can it be worked on? Can it be repaired, right? Then quality also looks at elements of, can be viewed at in the elements of what we call aesthetics. Now, aesthetics is basically, for example, the physical appearance of the product. How is it look? How is it packaged? For example, how does it look? Also that comprises of quality. Then also quality can be looked at in terms of what people perceive, the perception that people have maybe towards a particular product, right? For example, if I told someone here that if you're going to buy a phone and someone is telling you maybe they go and buy a Chinese phone, I know there is that perception that people have over Chinese products. I don't know whether it's a positive perception or a negative perception, but there is that perception that people have over Chinese product. It could be a negative or a positive perception. So regardless, so depending on what people think, the perception, the attitude or the thinking that people have upon a given product. Someone will tell you, I cannot use a Chinese phone. Why? Because they have that perception that Chinese products are duplicate products, but yet they are also good original, maybe electrical appliances or phones, right? That because these Chinese, they basically do the original and they do the duplicate. So it's upon you to sort yourself out depending on your budget. Are we together? So depending on the perception that people have of a product will determine its quality. Then quality can also be looked at in terms of value. When we talk about value, we are looking at maybe the price, how much something is how much, maybe in terms of price. For example, there are people that have a perception that if a product is expensive, yeah, there are people that have a perception that if a product is expensive, then it should be of high quality. And if a product is maybe, for example, cheap, then it should be of low quality. That's what people think. So even the value of the product, how much it, what is its price, the price attached to that product can also be a dimension of determining its value. So basically, those are the dimensions of quality. Now, there is a Japanese word that is called a Japanese character, like any other character, maybe like any other, I should say, a symbol. I would say a symbol. There is a Japanese character or a symbol that is called takumi. Takumi. And takumi is a character or a symbol that shows that that symbolizes a broader dimension than quality, a deeper process than education, and more a deeper process than education and more perfect. So takumi is basically a Japanese symbol that shows a broader dimension of quality, literally looking at quality in different dimensions or perspective, right? More than quality, more than in terms of education, more than the perfect method, basically looking at the broader perspective, broader dimensions of quality. Now, in order to get this quality is attained at a cost, right? Quality is attained at a cost. What we mean here is that for example, for an organization, right? For an organization to attain quality, let me say quality services, quality product, it will require it to incur an expense. I hope you're getting me. It will require it to it will cost you, or it will require you to incur an expense in order for you to get, for example, the quality service, the quality product, right? And what are these costs of quality? Costs that are incurred in order to attain, for example, quality services, quality products. This can be in terms of prevention costs, right? Prevention costs, whereby these prevention costs can be in terms, they are aimed at reducing potential defects. A defect is an error, right? So with prevention costs, for example, you may find that maybe you're working, or maybe an organization is working on maybe ensuring that that the machines are okay, right? that the machines are in good condition. And how do they ensure that, for example, the machines are in good condition? These machines have to be, they have to be checked, they have to be repaired, and to ensure that they are working effective, they are working very well, right? Before the actual maybe production process. So that will be a preventive measure. But of course, to keep these machines maintained and in good shape, it will require you to use maybe technicians to check these machines, to make replacements of the spare parts and so on. So that one incurs money. It's an expense incurred. So that will be a cost of quality, but in form of prevention costs. Then we have appraisal costs, appraisal. Now, when we talk about appraisal, basically, appraisal is a evaluation, yeah, or assessing. So you assess these products, and for example, you can look at these products and you check whether they are meeting the standards. You look at the parts of the equipment and machines, are they in good shape? That is appraisal. You're trying to assess, to evaluate, and find out whether this for example, the equipment, the products are in the required or expected I should say shape, right? Or even if the services provided are in they are okay. That is appraisal. Then the cost could be in terms of internal failure, whereby, for example, when a product is produced or manufactured, the final product here, and it's defective, it has a defect, or it has an error, or it is faulty, right? It does not come out perfect. Then it means that you will not sell that product to the final consumer because it has defects, it has errors, it hasn't come out perfectly well. So that loss is a cost of quality. It will be a cost of quality in terms of internal failure. Then also another cost of quality is external costs, right? So the external costs here, they will be discovered after delivery. For example, the final product is manufactured or produced, and after it has been delivered to the final user or to the customer realizes that it has defects. It is faulty, right? If it's a machine, it is not working in some way, it is faulty in some way, right? So at the end of the day, when that customer returns that product, for example, it will be a loss to the organization and therefore an external cost, right? So of course, at the end of the day, when this customer returns this defective or a defective product that has an error, that has not come out perfectly well during the process of manufacturing, then you will have, of course, to take it back, accept it, and maybe replace or substitute another one which is okay to the customer, such that you don't lose that customer. So that will be a cost of quality. I hope we are getting that right. So this quality is not just attained out of the blue, but organizations or businesses have to incur. They have to incur an expense. They have to take what it takes. They have to face what it takes to achieve quality, right? So this is a graphical illustration of the costs of quality. It can be in terms of the appraisal costs, it can be in terms of prevention costs, it can be in terms of internal failure, it can be in terms of external failure, like we have already seen. And the total cost of all these, or the summation, when you add up all these costs of quality, you should be able to get the total cost of quality. So quality comes at a cost, right? So we have their quality, international quality standards. You've seen some of them maybe somewhere. We have the ISO, for example, industrial standards, their industrial standards, right? So for example, we have the ISO 9000 series, where every whatever you see, a quality standard here that you see, it has a number, ISO this number. It will mean quality in a given perspective, right? So for example, ISO 9000 series, it shows, these are international, they are worldwide. It shows common quality standards for products sold in Europe, right? And even those made in the USA, right? And then we have ISO 2000 update. That one places emphasis on leadership and customer satisfaction. So every quality standard here with a label, with a series, it has what it emphasizes on. It has an aspect that it emphasizes on. For example, we have ISO 14,000, which focuses on environmental standards. Yeah. So with environmental standards, basically we are looking at, for example, industries or factories, and as they are carrying out the production process or during the process of manufacturing, they are required, the standards require them to, for example, to use methods, to use production processes or methods that are not harmful to the environment. It could be in terms of reducing pollution, right? In terms of reducing pollution, to ensure that the pollution is controlled during the process of production or manufacturing. Are we together? And with this ISO 14,000 environmental standard, it has codes of environmental management, auditing, performance evaluation, labeling, and life cycle assessment. So each of all these quality series has what it bases on. It has an element of quality that it bases on, right? So let's look at total quality management. By TQM, we mean total quality management. So with total quality management, like the word goes, it entails quality for the entire organization, right from the supplier, the production process, internal processes of the farm or the organization, up to the final user of the product, who is the customer. So quality should not be looked at only in the aspect of just the product or the service. No, it should be looked at right from the suppliers who are supplying you with the inputs in the production process, for example, who are supplying you with the raw materials used. If the raw materials supplied to you by the suppliers are of poor quality, definitely even the final product, trust me, is going to be of poor quality. So the quality begins right from the suppliers. What kind of raw materials are they supplying? Are they supplying substandard raw materials, right? So from supplier to the internal processes, production process, yeah, and then finally to the end user of the final good, who is the customer, right? And then also total quality management also stresses the commitment by management to have a continuous drive of excellence in all aspects. So even management here has to be supportive. Management has to be supportive in ensuring that quality is attained. So it's not a one-way kind of one-way fold. No, it involves a total commitment by management to ensure that there is quality in all aspects of the product, services, all aspects, right from the supplier, the internal processes of the business or the organization, up to the customer. Now, let's look at Deming's. This is a name of a person. Deming's 14 points. Yeah, he developed a 14 points, what we call a 14 points program of quality management. He developed a 14-point program of quality management. And this 14-point program of Deming's, he talks about basically one of them is to create, he talked about creating consistency of purpose, right? So in quality, in businesses should have a purpose, right? Should have a purpose. Why is the business in existence, right? And that purpose should be consistent, should not change, right? And then the second point Deming's point of quality among the 14 points, he talks about leadership, right? That leadership should promote the change. And that's why we've seen that that management has an upper hand, has a lot to do with determining whether the organization is going to come up with the quality services or quality products or not. Right? And then Deming also talks about, of course, we've seen that he talks about leadership, that good leadership, of course, if there is good leadership that is for the organization that is emphasizing and promoting quality, then of course, at the end of the day, we shall have quality products and services. Then also he talked about building quality of the product and stop depending on its inspection, right? So with building quality also, like we've seen, that quality can be looked at in terms of the features or aesthetics of the product. He also looked at the quality of the actual product, even the actual product, the actual final product itself should be of good quality, right? Then he talked about building long-term relationships based on performance and not price. So the relationships talked about here are relationships, for example, with the suppliers. If you have good relationship with suppliers, yeah, they'll provide you with quality raw materials that you're going to use in their production process. If you're building good relationship with the customers, of course, you will know what the customers want, and you'll be working towards meeting the customer demands, right? So those are the long-term relationships between the suppliers, between the buyers or the customers. So it is these customers, for example, that will be able to guide you, right? They will guide you and tell you, you know what, today, maybe if it's a restaurant, they will tell you that today's food was not okay. Maybe there was a lot of salt. Are we together? Because you've built a good relationship, a long-term relationship with them, and they are free with you. They are able to even tell you your mistakes, such that you improve. Otherwise, if you don't build good relationships with them, they will not even tell you anything like that. And at the end of the day, you may end up losing them as customers and losing more other customers, right? And then also Deming talks about continuous improvement of product quality and service. Remember, in our previous lecture or lesson, we looked at what we call we looked at lean operation, we looked at the just-in-time techniques, and we looked at the Toyota production system. And one of the secrets of the success of the Toyota production system, we saw that one of them was continuous improvement, what we call Kaizen, a Japanese word called Kaizen, which looks at improvement at all levels. It looks at continuous improvement, right? And we also saw that with the lean, we saw that just in time is a subset of lean operations. And we saw that the Toyota production system uses both the just in time and the lean operations. And of course, we saw basically three secrets of its success. One of them is continuous improvement, standardized products, yeah, and then respect of employees, right? They are basically three. And we see them actually appearing here in Deming's 14-point program of total quality. We actually see them appearing here. Where are they appearing? They're appearing here with continuous improvement. Yeah, that's the secret of the Toyota production system, which is basically the lean operations. And And we see it happening where? Happening here with the training, right? Remember, we saw that the Toyota production system, they respect workers. They believe in empowering workers, empowering them, for example, in terms of training. They believe that the mental and the physical, the workers contribute to the quality of the organization in terms mentally and physically, right? And then also we saw that standards, yeah, standardize the production, right? So all these are Deming's 14-point program that we shall actually see, and also we shall actually see used around the world. In most of the concept of total quality, you don't talk about total quality, and you don't talk about total quality, and when you talk about total quality and you don't talk about Deming's 14-point programs of total quality, then you've not really explained it in its breadth, right? So also emphasizing leadership. You talked about emphasizing leadership, that leadership or management has an upper hand in determining the success, in determining the quality, how the quality of the product or service, whether it's good, whether it will be of good quality or service or not. So management support, yeah, has a lot to do with determining the quality, right? How the quality of the product and service of an organization will be. Remember when we were looking at, in our previous lecture, when we were looking at the just-in-time techniques, we saw that there was that element of management, that support from management, where management should support employees, for example, training them, capacity building, right? Motivating them basically, and it also has an element of quality management. So all these terms that we are looking at, the just-in-time, the lean operation, the Toyota production system, all of them are focused towards or directed towards having quality. They are focused towards having quality. When you look at it keenly, you realize that all of them focus at having quality at the end of the day. We are still continuing with Deming's 14-point program of quality management. Then he also looked at driving out fear. Deming's also, in his 14-point program of quality, he talked about driving out fear. Yeah, you know, fear can make you fail to achieve your purpose, right? So of course, driving out fear means that you, as organizations or as businesses, you should be bold enough to face the challenges, right? And take and do what it takes to make sure that you attain quality. Then he talks about break down barriers between departments. Yeah, these departments in the organization, different departments, there should not be any barriers. In other words, these departments should work together to ensure that at the end of the day, the organization achieves its purpose of quality, purpose of attaining quality products and services. Then also he talked about stop haranguing workers. Now haranguing is I would say maybe being rude to workers, mistreating workers. So quality, you know, when we talk about quality, people, the very first thing that comes in people's mind is quality of the product and only the product and service. No, quality, like we've seen, total quality management talks about quality in all aspects. quality in all aspects, in all processes of the organization, right? Right from suppliers, the internal processes, the customers, the workers, management, all those ones, they have to be worked on. Everyone has to do their part at the end of the day to attain the final good quality product and service. So even mistreating workers, when we say stop haranguing workers, don't mistreat workers, empower workers. And we've already seen that this principle of empowering workers has worked for the Toyota production system, which we used as our case study for lean operations and just-in-time techniques, and we saw that it's the leading car manufacturing or vehicle manufacturing company in the world with over 9 million annual sales, right? So for them, they respect worker. And this is part, we are seeing some of these elements. We are seeing some of these elements of lean operation. We are seeing them under Deming's 14-point program of total quality. Then it says support, help, and improve. Of course, the support comes here, management supporting, helping, and improving these workers. Then remove barriers to pride in work, right? Remove barriers to pride in work. Of course, with the pride, if you are proud, yeah, I look at a proud person, a customer enters, they ask you a question and like you don't want to know, you are rude to them, you are proud. That is not total quality. Yeah, that is not total quality management. You have to be, you have to have that good customer care. Ensure that you speak very well, right, to your customers. Otherwise, if you're proud, you may, in your pride, you may end up losing the customers, and you may end up not even effectively working well, not providing quality services and quality products at the end of the day. Then he talked about institute a vigorous program of education and self-improvement, right? Of course, this one also comes in with management supporting workers, empowering workers, training them to get the relevant skills. Of course, it's the employees that have the required skills that will help an organization to attain quality services and also quality products. Are we together? So if you want to get quality products and quality services, then have the trained workers. As simple as that. Then the 14th point of total quality management for Deming is he said, put everybody in the company to work on transformation. Put everybody in the company to work on transformation, as in everyone in an organization should work towards having change, transformation, change, continuous improvement, right? So everyone should be directed towards working to having things change, to getting things done better, right? So with the quality, we mean that it is not a one-man's show. No, everyone will have to do their part to make sure that at the end of the day, the organization achieves its purpose. The organization achieves its purpose of attaining quality services, quality products. So those are the 14-point program. That is the 14-point program that Deming put across that should be followed to attain quality. And we realize that most of these, some of these elements in Deming's 14-point program are used elsewhere. We shall be seeing them elsewhere, right? And they are applicable actually. So let's look at the 7 concepts. There are 7 concepts of total quality management. The other one were just Deming's 14-point program of total quality management, where he talks about what should be done, elements that should be followed to achieve quality management. So here we have 7 concepts now of total quality management, which basically include continuous improvement, right? Continuous improvement. And then when we talk about total quality management, we have to, quality management entails or comprises these or consists of these elements or concepts. So total quality management consists of continuous improvement, the Six Sigma that we are going to look at, empowerment of employees, benchmarking, the just in time, which we've already looked at, the Taguchi concept, which we shall look at, and the knowledge of, and then the total quality management tools. So we are going to look at all these concepts of total quality management. So total quality management entails all these 7 concepts, some of which we have already looked at, like the just-in-time techniques. Now let's look at each of these concepts of total quality management. Number 1 is continuous improvement. Continuous improvement. There should not be any day that you say that we have it all. We have it all and we've reached the top. No. Total quality management is a continuous process. It is a continuous process. You will never get 100% perfect as an organization. You are always working towards making it better, making it better. So total quality management involves continual improvement of all processes. It is a continuous process, right? Right from suppliers, you keep on improving. Yeah, you may realize you need maybe to change the suppliers to better ones. You may realize, you have to work with customers to ensure that they are satisfied. Yeah, so the continuous improvements should be in terms of working with people, working with equipment or machines, working with the raw materials and the procedures. All those ones, the organization should ensure that they are made better, right? Maybe at a certain point you may need to replace your equipment that you're using in the production process to make it better, to make the final product better. You may need to change the raw materials to better ones that are used in the production process. You may need the procedures. Maybe you may need to reduce we looked at the manufacturing lifetime. You may need to change the procedures, how you're doing it, the production process. You may need to change the suppliers that you're working with, right? So total quality management is a continuous process. Let's look at Schwartz's PDCA model. Schwartz is also a name of a person. He propounded a model, and of course this helps with the total quality management. And in this model, he called it the PDCA model, literally standing, an acronym standing for P standing for plan identity, identify improvement and make a plan, which is basically identifying the improvement and make a plan. So with the planning, you have to identify which area, right? Which area in the organization maybe that has a problem. Are we together? You may find that it is the machines that are maybe faulty, that need to be replaced, that need to be repaired, right? So after identifying where the problem is, maybe some of the employees are not skilled enough. Are we together? So in that perspective, you will need now to plan after identifying where the problem is arising. Yeah, where the problem that is hindering quality is arising, then you plan. So if, for example, you realize that it's the employees that are not trained enough or skilled enough, then you have to put it into your plans as an organization to have them trained. Are we getting that? You have to plan to get them trained to such that they attain the relevant skills and they help in achieving quality products. Then D stands for do. Do the test. Doing literally means test the plan. Yeah. So now if you have, for example, you've realized the employees do not have relevant skills, plan to train them and then do the training. That's what we mean by do. Do the training. Are we together? Do the training, and after doing the training, C stands for check. Is the plan, find out, is the plan working? After you've trained them, has the final product, for example, improved? Has the processes, have they improved the way they are doing the things, the production process, the way they are involved? Has the final product, for example, improved after training these workers? And then A stands for act, implement the plan, right? So acting, if you see that, of course, you have tested, maybe you've trained them, you've seen that it is working, and then finally implement. Finally implementing the plan literally means that now you're going to, if it means that it's the training that brings about improvement in the quality of the products maybe and services offered by your organization, then you have to take it on, right? Take it on, and maybe you've realized now that it is the training that has the secret in the quality of your services, maybe is in the training, then you act on that. So that is the PDCA model. All these models are developed, or were developed in line with total quality management. These are concepts of total quality management. Remember, we've seen that they are we've seen that they are concept of total quality management. Then another concept of total quality management is the Six Sigma. The Six Sigma. Now, what is the meaning of the Six Sigma? Now, the Six Sigma was originally developed by Motorola. Motorola, if you know that company, yeah, they do they manufacture phones and other appliances, right? So it was the Six Sigma was originally developed by that company called Motorola, and it basically refers to an extreme high measure of process capability, right? So with the Six Sigma, basically here, it means that it has an acronym which we call DPMO. DPMO, literally meaning a process that will return not more than 3.4 defects per million operation. Yeah, so DPO means per million operation. DPO means defects per million operations. Defects per million operation. A defect is an error. Are we together? A defect is an error. For example, if it is a company that manufactures phones, and you find one phone has been manufactured, but it has an error with it. Some functionality is not working. Maybe the buttons are not working. Some buttons are not working. When you press the buttons, they are not working. It means that phone has a defect. It has an error. It has a fault with it. Are we together? So with the Six Sigma, it means it has that acronym that says defect per million operation, literally meaning for example, if we say that this is a phone manufacturing company, it means that for every million phones, for example, for every million phones manufactured, at least there should only be 3.4 defects. Are we getting the logic? Meaning that for every, if we are looking at phones, a company that manufactures phones, then defects per million operation, it will mean that for every million phones that have been manufactured by that company, that factory, there should only be phones with defect. There should only be 3.4 phones with defects. Are we together? So literally meaning that there should be minimal errors for every manufactured, for every I should say for every lot of manufactured products that are manufactured by an organization. Literally meaning minimizing errors, minimizing defects as much as possible. So that's what we call the Six Sigma. Literally meaning that for example, for every million operations, for every million products manufactured, there should only be 3.4 defects. Literally meaning almost zero defects, minimizing the defects as possible, as much as possible, right? So that's what we call the Six Sigma, defect per million operation. For every million operation, there should only be 3.4 defects. Now, the Six Sigma also has an approach that is in form of an acronym. That is called the MAIC approach. The MAIC approach, and the D stands for define critical outputs. Define critical outputs and identify gaps for improvement, right? Define critical outputs and identify. In other words, identify where the problem is. If it is in terms of where is the problem, what is limiting you from attaining maybe the quality products, the quality services as an organization, where is the problem arising? So identify the gaps. Yeah, gaps. What is hindering you from attaining the expectation, the objective, the organization's objective or purpose? M, the MAIC, M stands for, remember these are approaches to quality improvement, right? M stands for measure the work and collect process data. Measure the work and collect process data, right? So you could find out that maybe the gap is in poor customer care. Are we together? Poor customer care. So now, after you've realized that there is poor customer care in the organization, in your organization, the next step, M stands for measure the work and collect process data. So the next step is, for example, you can conduct a survey, right? Maybe a survey, you call these customers and find out how is the customer care like? Are they attended to very well? So these customers will be able to tell you maybe those people at the reception, they are rude. Maybe those people, they are A, B, C, D. So that is all information that you are collecting from the customers. Are we together? That is measure the work and collect process data. Analyze. After you've collected that information, maybe you've called them by phone, you've interviewed them, you've given them questionnaires. Analyze that data. You can use maybe a statistical software to analyze that data. Improve the process. Now, after analyzing the data, of course, at the end of the day, you may realize that it is true. The poor customer care is making you maybe lose out the customers, maybe leading to reduced sales, right? So improve the process. Now work on the customer care. Maybe you will need to hire people that are good, well-trained in customer care, that will be able to handle these clients very well. And then number 5, C, DMAIC, improve. C stands for control the new process to make sure new performance is measured. For example, if it is customer care now, make sure that these employees that are working with the customer care department, they are monitored. Some of them you find these calls, the calls they make with with the customers of the organization, they are recorded. So that is controlling the process, such that they also know that they are monitored. If they are rude to customers, they may end up losing their job. I hope we are on the same page up to that level. Are we on the same page? I've not had any question. So somehow I'm thinking